We love a great FAFO moment, and I have another one for you. First, some background. 65% of the state of Alabama voted for Donald Trump. Alabama is in the top 10 poorest states in the United States related to federal poverty level. While many of these voters sit behind their computers and celebrate Elon Musk cutting waste, little did they know it was going to impact them. This week, over 250 residents in Huntsville, Alabama received a notice from their electric company that they were going to have to pay an additional $100 surcharge. The explanation for this was that Donald Trump's recent executive order ended a $1 million grant to the utilities company to help these customers pay for their electric bill. Leaders in Alabama are furious because they said this is counterintuitive to Donald Trump's promise to lower energy costs. Tots and pears.
Wait, hold on. You spent months celebrating government cuts, and now you're mad the program keeping your lights affordable got axed? Here's the reality check. Cutting waste always sounds great until you realize you were the waste they meant. That subsidy wasn't some liberal handout to lazy people. It was helping working families in one of the poorest states afford basic utilities. But because it came from the federal government, it had to go, right? This is what happens when slogans replace policy. When you cheer for draining the swamp without asking what's actually in it. Turns out some of that swamp water was keeping you hydrated.
Hey, my name's Kyle Sweetser, and I'm running for United States Senate down here in Alabama. The MAGA politicians that run our state have completely abandoned the Constitution. A U.S. citizen over in Baldwin County, Alabama, has been detained by ICE twice now, without due process, off a private job site. He's now suing this administration because they violated his constitutional rights. When I get to the U.S. Senate, I will stand up for everybody's rights here in Alabama, and I will stand up for the Constitution, and I will stand up for the rights of every American.
Breaking news, a new poll released out of Alabama today shows that 100% of MAGA voters support Donald Trump's initiative to remove DEI from the government. When asked what DEI was, though, however, 75% of them said that is where black people and gays in dresses get jobs over white people. When explained that that was not exactly what DEI was, that it was actually a service in which it could help handicapped people who needed certain kinds of accessory tools. Maybe if they're deaf, they might need an interpreter. They then said, oh, you mean the broken people? We should get rid of them too.
So MAGAville just got the mess around and find out in their own hometown of Huntsville, Alabama, who voted overwhelmingly for Donald Trump because he promised to lower utility bills, groceries, and others. Well, many of them just got a notice from their electric company that their bill will go up by $100 due to a surcharge. And the explanation in this notification was that the $1 million subsidy grant from the federal government has been canceled by, drumroll please, Donald Duffy Duck Trump. Yes, that's right. Donald Trump has ended the subsidy handout to the electric company to help keep Alabama's poorest residents from paying extra money on their electric bills, which they cannot afford. However, thanks to voting for Donald Trump, that subsidy is no longer, and you will pay to play. Follow for more. Our Substack is in the bio.
You can hate big government all day long, philosophically, ideologically, whatever. But when you're barely making rent in one of the poorest states in America, those federal programs aren't abstract political talking points. They're the difference between keeping the lights on or sitting in the dark. And now they're gone. Not because they weren't working, not because they were fraudulent, but because the administration you voted for decided proving a point mattered more than protecting people. Here's practical advice if you're staring at that bill increase. Call your utility company about budget billing plans. They spread costs over 12 months so you're not hit with seasonal spikes. Cut phantom loads. Unplug devices not in use. Switch to LED bulbs if you haven't already. Seal windows and doors. But most importantly, remember this exact feeling when 2026 rolls around, because this is just the beginning.
For those that don't know, the Supreme Court ruled Monday for the Trump administration and agreed U.S. immigration agents may stop and detain anyone they suspect in the U.S. illegally based on little more than working at a gas station, at a restaurant, at a car wash, speaking Spanish, or having brown skin. That is all they need. If you speak Spanish or have brown skin, you are in danger. My family's in danger. And we have to step up. We have to be the change. We have to spread the word. Make sure to keep your family as safe as you can. Let them be informed. And that's the best that we can do. But, yep, the Supreme Court ruled this on Monday for the Trump administration.
So Trump tells Republicans, if we don't win midterms, I will get impeached. I am telling you right now, I'm urging all Americans to make sure that you vote during these midterms, okay? Because this is exactly what he is fearing, and this is exactly what we need to fucking happen.
Detention based on suspicion, not evidence, not due process, just vibes. That's not border security. That's the Fourth Amendment getting torched in real time. And Alabama voters who think this doesn't touch them need to pay attention. A U.S. citizen just got detained twice. No charges, no trial, just grabbed off a private job site. When you strip constitutional protections from one group, you strip them from everyone. The precedent doesn't care about your citizenship. It cares about power. Today it's people who look illegal. Tomorrow it's protesters. Next week it's journalists. Eventually, anyone they want. Rights aren't negotiable. They're not supposed to have exceptions based on who the government finds suspicious. But here we are.
So just so we're all clear, in the midterms, Congress is decided. They are your U.S. House of Representatives and also your Senates, okay? We need to remember this. This is important. This is our chance to rebalance the power dynamics, okay? We need congressmen. We need them to act. We've seen what happened in Venezuela without their support. Very quickly, these are the dates that your state are going to be having the midterms. And if you are in Massachusetts like me, ours is going to happen September 1st of this year. This man is not fit for presidency. Not only is he dividing Americans, he is also dividing the other worlds from us. He is doing horrible things and is going to affect the dynamic of other relationships that people have with America, other countries. So we need this man out ASAP.
I need all Alabama Trump supporters to report here. I need you to come here, particularly the poor ones. Because right now, your president's budget proposal has already passed through the House of Representatives. So now it's going to go to the Senate, and it's likely going to pass because the Senate is also being controlled by the Republicans you voted for. Okay. And what this budget proposal is wanting is to cut Medicaid, cut food stamps, and give all that money to the ultra rich. So the people who are already rich, they're about to get more money from these tax cuts that they're getting from you, a poor person. So the poor person who needs help to pay for food and health care, you're now probably not going to get it or get as much as you need because that money is being rerouted to rich people. And I just need to know, did you not know this is going to happen? You didn't know that Trump was advocating for rich people and not poor people like you? I'm just wondering, because almost 16% of Alabamians live in poverty. And that's considered the national threshold of poverty. There's a lot of y'all who are really poor. It's a lot of y'all.
Let's break down what's actually happening here. 1 in 6 Alabamians live below the poverty line. 1 in 5 depend on Medicare just to see a doctor. And the budget that just cleared the House is about to slash both Medicaid and SNAP benefits. So here's the math. Poor people lose assistance. Rich people get tax cuts. That's not policy. That's wealth redistribution upward. And the justification? Cutting waste. But these programs have some of the lowest fraud rates in government. Medicare fraud sits around 3%. SNAP is under 1%. Meanwhile, defense contractor overcharges run into the billions, and nobody's cutting those. If you're in Alabama and about to lose coverage, start looking now. Community health centers offer sliding scale payments based on income. Food banks are networked. Use findhelp.org to locate resources near you. It's not enough, but it's something while you figure out your next move. And your next move should be remembering every single person who voted to take food out of your mouth while giving tax breaks to people who'll never notice the difference.
A little over 1 million Alabamians are on Medicare. That's a fifth of the people in the state of Alabama. Alabama is already one of the poorest states in the country, and it's about to get poorer because of these cuts that are about to happen. Now, for the people who voted for Trump and who are not poor, I hope that you are okay and prepared for the poor people who live in your neighboring communities, the poor people who are maybe relatives in your family, to come knocking on your door when they need housing, when they need help paying for their medical visits, when they need something to eat. I hope that you all are willing to give those people some of your money, since you voted for a man who is going to take some of those resources away. It is always said that poor white people will always vote against their interests in the name of racism. And that is exactly what has happened. Donald Trump is probably one of the most racist presidents in modern history. And he has galvanized support from white supremacists all over the country, specifically in Alabama, where white supremacy was born. And people support him because of that, and not because of their own personal interests. So, Trump supporters, let me know what's up. You know, what you plan on doing when your Medicaid is shut off and your food stamps are gone. You know, what you gonna say to your boy? How you gonna let Trump know what's up?
Racism is expensive. It costs you money, healthcare, and opportunity. Because while you were worried about immigrants taking jobs or black folks getting handouts, the people at the top were taking everything. Your subsidies, your Medicaid, your future. Poor white folks and poor black folks in Alabama have way more in common than either has with billionaires. You're both getting robbed by the same system, but as long as you're mad at each other, you'll never look up and see who's actually picking your pockets. This is the oldest trick in the playbook. Keep working people divided by race so they don't unite by class. It worked during Reconstruction. It's working now. Solidarity beats supremacy every single time, but you gotta choose it.
So you may not know this, but in 2024, at the start of the year, at the start of Donald Trump's presidential campaign, his initial donors, big initial donors, were private prisons. He raked in $1 million, maybe over $1 million, pretty much out the gate. We saw all this anti-immigrant rhetoric being pushed across social media, not organic. Basically, folks are being taught to hate. You're being taught to dislike immigrants. Why is that? Well, flash forward to the Big Beautiful Bill, and look at what the Big Beautiful Bill just allocated our taxpayer monies to. $45 billion to immigrant detention. These companies that donated to Donald Trump are now raking in literally billions of dollars. If you go back again to 2023, 2024, and you look at, there was a bill that Senator Lankford was pushing, a Republican. It was a immigration bill. It was going to get everything under control. It was backed by Republicans. Donald Trump came in, while not in power, by the way, and openly bragged about killing the bill. He went after these politicians, these Republican politicians that were going to do the right thing, by threatening to end their careers. And so they ended up bowing down to Trump, doing what Trump wanted. They left the border open for political reasons. So one can say that, you know, some of the folks they let in now, that they let in under Trump, under Trump's direction, the companies that donated to Donald Trump are now making money on each one of these folks that they detain. This is absolutely disgusting. This is for-profit prisons that are operating on human suffering that didn't even need to happen.
Follow the money and you'll find the motive every time. Private prisons donate millions to the campaign. Campaign wins. Private prisons get $45 billion in government contracts. That's not governance. That's a business transaction with your tax dollars. And here's the disgusting part. There was a bipartisan immigration bill ready to pass in 2024. Republicans backed it. It would have secured borders and fixed real problems. But it got killed. Why? Because solving the problem ends the profit. The crisis is the product. Detention centers need bodies to fill beds to bill the government. More deportations means more detention means more money. Your taxes are funding a system designed to maximize human suffering for corporate profit. So when you see mass deportations, families separated, citizens detained, someone's getting paid. Not you, not your community. Corporations that figured out how to monetize cruelty. Demand transparency. Ask your representatives where that $45 billion is going and who's cashing those checks.
Look, I'm all for immigration reform. I'm for strong borders. But we have to be compassionate. What's going on right now we haven't seen since 1930s Germany. This is runaway populism where they use lies, fear, and hate to manipulate their base into supporting things that are flat out immoral and unethical. Not only that, they're skyrocketing our national debt with stuff like this. $45 billion. And, you know, right now they increase the deficit, I believe, by $5 trillion with this big, beautiful bill. They don't care about the future of our kids. They only care about stuff in their pockets. My name's Kyle Sweetser, and I'm running for United States Senate here in Alabama, and I'm running to fight against this inhumane regime. I'm running to fight against the folks that will deny you your rights the first chance they get. I'm running against these folks to make life more affordable for the people of Alabama, for the people of America. And I'm running against them to make everyone's life better, to work to make everyone's life better, to where the government serves the people instead of the government serving these huge corporations that have horrible intentions. Thank y'all for listening.
This is textbook propaganda, and most people miss it completely. Before the protest, dangerous radicals, terrorists. After the protest, harmless old people, nothing to see here. It's designed to work both ways. If violence happens, they crack down. If nothing happens, they mock and demoralize. Either outcome serves power, and it looks organic because regular people amplify it without realizing they're doing the work for free. So here's your move. Before sharing anything, ask who benefits from this narrative. What emotion is it triggering? Is it true or just manipulation? Trust what you saw with your own eyes, not what the algorithm wants you to think about it.
Did you notice just how fast the narrative flipped? I did. I was psychological operations in the Army, and our motto at 9th Battalion was, win the mind, win the day. I know propaganda when I see it. I recognize the tactics they're using. Leading up to the No Kings protest, it was all Hate America rally, radical leftists, paid protesters, Antifa terrorists. They even hyped up the National Guard like violence was inevitable. Then boom, overnight, suddenly it's harmless old white people, millions of boomers, geriatric protesters, and great job, Liv, still no king. That's the playbook right there. Troll, gaslight, repeat. They pump out fear and division to justify power. If something happens, they crack down on immigrants, trans people, whoever fits the story that week. If nothing happens, they mock it, they minimize it, they try to demoralize anyone who dared show up. Either way, the regime wins. That's the goal. That's how propaganda works. And most folks don't even realize they're part of that machine, blindly amplifying the message one way or the other. That's why it's so damn effective. It looks organic. We have to recognize that America lives inside a MAGA media environment. Not everyone watches Midas Touch or stays politically active. A lot of people are only casually tuned in, and that's understandable. We can talk about that another time. But for now, just recognize the play. Their echo chamber is loud. It can feel impossible to fight back, but you can. Believe your eyes, trust what you saw, and overwhelm the ballot box. Because here's the truth. They only have to be right once. We have to keep showing up every single time, believing in each other, cutting through the noise, and standing firm. So ignore the propaganda. Grow the movement. Find your courage, and keep fucking going. Together in 2026, We will take the House.
The whole strategy is making you feel powerless, like your vote doesn't matter, like resistance is pointless. But 2026 isn't theoretical. It's months away. And if you think it's bad now, imagine what happens when they control both chambers for the full term. More cuts, more consolidation, more consequences. Taking the House back creates a check on the madness. Oversight, accountability, the ability to actually stop the worst policies before they happen. So register, vote, bring people with you, especially the ones who sat out because they thought it didn't matter. It matters. It's always mattered. And the people trying to convince you otherwise, they know it. That's why they're working so hard to make you forget. The ballot box is still the most powerful tool we have. Use it.
I don't know, man. My tax return used to be a whole lot more under Obama, and things were a lot cheaper, too. Well, I don't know about that. All I remember about Obama's president was that everything was all about racism, you know, calling me a racist. And I don't remember what the tax checks were like, but I know this. It's about to get a whole lot better. Your tax check's going to go way up once Daddy Trump gets in there and starts fixing all that and draining the swamp. Oh, this is Trump's tax plan. You believe everything the liberal media tells you, brother. It's all right. It's going to be all good. We're going to get you straightened out and get you on with some real knowledge. The truth, social truth, Donald Trump's truth. I've been pissed off as hell the last 4 years about my income tax check being so damn low under that communism that we've been having that dark cloud over us, you know, just bringing in the hurricanes and what have you. Dude, don't you have a cell phone that has Google on it that you could look stuff up with? Well, DuckDuckGo, but yeah. Get on the DuckDuckGo and see what it says about whose tax plan the United States is currently operating under. Listen, dude, if you look something up, it says something bad about Trump, it ain't true. That's what I'm telling you. You got to get on Truth Social and find somebody that's saying that it ain't Trump's fault. And that's who's telling the truth, and that's how you know. King Donald ain't never told a lie, and he ain't never done anything wrong, and taxes are going to be non-existent under King Donald. That's what he said. He does everything he says. He's never lied, not once. When he cut down the cherry tree in his daddy's backyard, his daddy asked him, he was like, "Daddy, I cut down that cherry tree." King Donald don't lie. Oh, okay. Good talking to you. Oh, King Donald.
This guy's holding his own tax return. The proof is in his hands, and he still can't accept it. That's not politics. That's a cult. When you refuse to Google basic facts because you're scared they'll contradict your beliefs, you've stopped thinking. When you dismiss everything negative as fake without checking, you've outsourced your brain. And here's the tragedy. He's getting screwed by the exact policies he's defending. The tax plan benefits the wealthy. That's documented, verifiable. But instead of facing it, he retreats into alternative facts. You can't help someone who won't help themselves, but you can refuse to let their denial become policy. Save your energy. Vote. That's where it counts. Alabama voted for this. Every cut, every consequence. Now they're living it. Higher bills, slashed benefits, constitutional rights under attack, tax cuts for people who'll never visit Huntsville. Maybe some are waking up, maybe they're asking better questions, or maybe they'll just find someone else to blame. Either way, 2026 is coming. The House is in play. Economics isn't political. It's arithmetic. And right now, the math is brutal. Drop a comment. Sympathy or consequences? If this made you think, like, share, and subscribe. Elections have consequences. Alabama's learning the expensive way. See you next time.
Real quick, by becoming a channel member, you're not just supporting our work. You're helping us amplify voices, fight misinformation, and keep important conversations alive. Membership gives us the strength to keep producing content that matters. Join today and stand with us in shaping a better future.